Hello, everybody. I'm Robert Franz, music director of the Windsor Symphony Orchestra, and I am here today with composer Malek Jandali. Malek, welcome to the Windsor Symphony.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We are so excited to have you on in March for our fourth Masterworks of the season. We will be premiering your Symphony Number Five, and this was kind of fun because you and I have a mutual friend from our old days at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts, Eric Larson, and he recommended that I contact you because he thought you were an extraordinary composer, and he was right. And I sent you an email, and you sent me back all of this incredible
That's
repertoire.
no,
But the thing that caught my attention was the Fifth Symphony, which you said to me had not been performed yet. Would I be interested in doing the world premiere? And of course, I jumped at it quickly. So we are thrilled to be able to bring it to life for the very first time here in Windsor.
Likewise, thank you very much for programming living composers during these challenging times. And I'm honored to collaborate with you and with the Windsor Symphony to bring my music to life.
So tell us a little bit about the genesis of the symphony that we're going to perform of yours. Where did it come from? Tell us a little bit about its origin.
I started my musical journey as a classical pianist, and through my education and searching for my identity, I evolved into a composer and symphonic music in particular. Today I have eight symphonies. This is number five. The uh, the mission of my symphonic works is to preserve and present the rich culture and heritage of my homeland at the very same time when it's being eradicated. Art and music in particular is the search for beauty and truth. And together with the Windsor Symphony and under your leadership, we will bring this music to life. It's about the 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 melodies, the rhythms, the sound of the people. Whether it's 1,000 years ago or if it's today, it's all coming together through the sonata form, through the symphony, uh, with the goal of preserving it and presenting it to your audience and to the world, actually, because it's the world premiere. So that's what it is. It's in four movements. It's in C. The audience will be introduced to ancient melodies from Washahat, from the Maqams, interesting rhythms, but all integrated and presented into the classical Western form, which is the sonata form. Um, Four movements. It also has a scherzo, and the second movement is all about nature. I composed it actually in the Great Smoky Mountains in, during my visit in one of the falls. I was amazed when I visited the Smoky Mountains the first year I was in North Carolina, and I saw that sea of colors that I have never seen in my life, and it was just unbelievably beautiful. Yeah.
We have the colors here in Windsor, just no mountains.
Yeah.
But lots of waterscapes, lots and lots of waterscapes. One of the things that strikes me about your music is, of course, how you bring in your Syrian heritage and combine it, which I think is pretty amazing and pretty unique in its voice. But I think even more equally as important, I should say, is your striving for a universality in music. And you talk often about the soft power of music. And I wonder if you could just elaborate a little on that, because I think we in Windsor find this, that it's not just about going to a concert and hearing beautiful music, but it's
Yeah.
about what music can do to make our lives better, to increase the value of our lives, and really bring people together um, to commune really through music.
Absolutely. Unlike any other form of art, music is so magical because, for example, when we're going to attend this premiere, we're not going to see music. We cannot touch it, even though it will touch hopefully our hearts. Uh, to me, it's the epic of freedom. And the term sinfonia from Greek or Latin uh, means to sing together. So it's all about unity and bringing unity back to the community. The human side, of my work, it's all about humanity because all what I'm trying to do is to present that beauty of that culture through the magic of music. And I am very lucky that I have the tools. And I'm extremely fortunate to have this collaboration with you and the Windsor Symphony. So music, unlike any other form of art, has this magic to unite because it's intangible, but at the same time, it's so powerful. Um, so, and it takes a village. How many musicians are we going to have? 70 musicians plus the conductor, the audience. So we're all going to come together, despite all the beautiful differences. I mean, even in the music itself, you have all these dissonances, you have all these clusters of chords in the orchestration, and sometimes it's actually dissonant. You might have a C with the C sharp playing all together, but with everybody else combined, it's harmonious, and it comes into celebrating diversity through music. And that's what really I thrive for as a musician on a mission to bring peace and to present the beauty of my culture through symphonic music.
Well, speaking of your culture, we have a rather robust Syrian community in Windsor. And we are very proud in Windsor of being one of the most diverse cities per capita in the entire country. And so I wonder if you could speak a little to what it means to come to a community and connect with other Syrians who may have had similar experiences to yours.
Absolutely. It will be a wonderful opportunity to invite everyone in the community, especially the Arab, the Syrian, the Persian, Middle Eastern communities to come to the Capitol Theatre, to the Windsor Symphony, and celebrate their own culture. Because, when I say it's a Syrian melody from Mesopotamia, that's not really particularly Syrian. Because at the time we had the Silk Road, which was the internet of the era. It didn't go east to west or west to east. It was all over. It was all about interaction, spices, colors, food, music, knowledge, books. So it happened that in my homeland, in Aleppo and Damascus, people preserved the beauty of what they heard musically. Even the maqams, even the modes or the rhythms. When we had a rhythm that came from Persia or from Eastern Asia, we did not change its identity. We didn't say it's going to be the Syrian mode, or we didn't say it's going to be the Aleppo rhythm. We kept it as is. We preserved it. From that sense, in my humble opinion, I believe it's global music that has been preserved in Mesopotamia. So, and that's why it's authentic, complex, but at the same time relevant and meaningful and accessible. And, even though the only thing it's missing is presenting it through a symphony orchestra. And that's due to many unfortunate reasons of history and the geopolitics and stuff. Music has not been really well embraced in the curriculum of the Arab countries. But fortunately enough, with my education and my mission of preserving the culture, here we are integrating these melodies into the symphony forms to present it to the world, rather than always keep it as a world music or with the dancers or folk music. So that's our opportunity, and I thank you and the Windsor Symphony and the community to embrace such collaboration and partnership to present this meaningful and timely symphony to the world, especially to the community and the people of Windsor and Canada at large.
So, Malik, how did you get started in music then? If this was the sort of environment that you grew up in, how did you come to be a musician?
Well, I was born in Germany to wonderful parents, and my dad during medical school in Vienna used to attend Karajan's rehearsals because he couldn't afford the concerts, so he would go to the rehearsals. And then he decided to move back to Syria to build a hospital, and and then from that point, I was raised in Syria. But in Syria, I was lucky because at home, I will hear Schubert and Beethoven symphonies and all the leaders that my dad memorized in German. At the same time, when I go to the streets and school and people, I will hear all the folk music of the region. And of course, with my education, I had a wonderful piano teacher from the Tchaikovsky Conservatory, who was a friend of our mutual professor Eric Larson. And through a competition, I ended up coming to the United States on a full scholarship as a pianist, and then searching for my own thumbprint, identity, and becoming an American citizen. I evolved and transitioned from being a pianist, playing Tchaikovsky piano concerto, into composing my own concerto and my own symphonies in my mission to preserve and present my culture.
One of the things that I think is most extraordinary about your symphonic music is your use of color. You really sort of maximize all of the sounds and timbres that you can from the orchestra, which I think is part of the appeal to the music that you write. And I wonder, in this particular symphony, the Symphony No. 5 that we'll be doing a premiere of, you have a couple of extended cello solos in the second and fourth movement. And I wonder if you could maybe tell us a little bit about how that came to be, or what is there sort of a hidden meaning behind it, or is there something that you were connecting with?
Absolutely. The cliche about the Middle Eastern music is always the lack of harmony and colors in orchestration. You always hear that beautiful melody, but you're lacking everything else, all the other dimensions. And coming from a pianistic background and realizing the beauty of the melodies, I tend to step back and take a fresh look into what is the best way to integrate that melody as is without any modifications, and presenting it through the colors, through the all the opportunities we have in the symphony orchestra. In piano, you always have, it's a symphony orchestra under your command, but at the same time, you don't have all these colors. You can imagine them. But when I go into my score and start coloring all these amazing structures that I have, it just becomes a real joy and diving into the oceans of the colors and the symphonic music. Um, One of the melodies in the symphony is based on a muwashah, which is titled "Quench the Thirsty." So basically, people in particularly Aleppo, when they have lack of rain, they will gather together and start singing in a chant or quote unquote a prayer to have rain for their crops and for their farming. Um, and that's another vivid example of how music unites throughout cultures, religions, needs. They didn't go and have a conference, they had music. They united through music. And that's one of the melodies that I integrated in this symphony.
Well, I think you may find it interesting to know that the mission of the Windsor Symphony is to connect people through music. So I think your music and your creativity is the perfect match for our orchestra. Before we leave today, I do want to ask you one other question. For us at the Windsor Symphony, about a third of what we do each year is in the schools. Education is an enormous a part of who we are, and we're very committed to bringing music to every corner of our community, Windsor and Essex County. I know that you started an organization called Pianos for Peace in the Georgia area, and I wonder if you could tell us just a little bit about that organization.
Absolutely. We would love to collaborate together on painting a piano through your community work and then maybe donating it to a school or a nursing home or a healthcare facility. Again, throughout my travel and as a pianist, I always noticed all these colorful pianos throughout my traveling. And I come from a city, Atlanta, where I couldn't find any pianos in any public space, not in the subway, not in the parks. So around 10 years ago or so, I started this organization, Pianos for Peace, to give back to the community. And every year now, we display 50 colorful pianos where we engage local artists, international artists to design them and paint them. And then we display them throughout the month of September all over the parks. And then after the festival on actually September 21st of each year, which is the International Day of Peace, we take all these colorful pianos and we donate them to schools that lack pianos and underserved. We donate them to healthcare facilities, nursing homes, even the veterans. And again, it's another example how music can unite and heal the world, especially with the colors. So that's what we do. Our motto is building peace through music and education. Pianos for Peace, basically, it's the title. So we'll be honored to collaborate together, maybe bring a piano and then engage the students, have a Windsor Symphony Pianos for Peace project through our collaboration, and we can display it at the Capitol Theatre during the premiere.
We would love that, actually. So
That,
we will definitely be in touch about that. Malek, I just want to say it is so extraordinary for us to have this opportunity to bring your Fifth Symphony to life for the very first time. We're excited to open up our arms and welcome you to Windsor, and we look forward to the concert with you coming up in March. Thank you.
thank you very much for your invitation. It's always better to be together in a symphony for peace. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.